This is a big day today. It's a big night tonight because the final countdown for Great Britain's best boxers, the World Championships in Baku, Azerbaijan, start on September the 22nd. All boxers selected, if they reach the quarterfinals, will box at the 2012 Olympics. A couple that are in the same weight category, and we'll talk about that in a second. Now, there was a slight delay in naming the squad of 24 hours, and the man in charge of our Olympic hopes, dreams, and I'm assuming also tears, is Robert McCracken. Now, I've got the team. I've finally got the full list of the elite fighters that will be going out to Baku, and I'm delighted to say that Robert joins me on the line now. Good evening, Rob.
How you doing, Steve?
Rob, I'm assuming it's been a really hard few months, few weeks and few hours for you nailing this list down.
Yeah, it's been difficult. We've got some very good boxers, some really successful ones as well that won't be going to the World Championships because the boxer at the same weight has done a little bit more than them. But obviously, that's one opportunity. The World Championships is also a second chance at Istanbul for the men. So, some of the boxers that haven't been selected are in with the shout of Istanbul.
But looking at this list, Rob, and I'm just going to read them out. Charlie Edwards from the Lynn, Khalid Yafai, Andrew Selby, Luke Campbell, Martin Ward, Tom Stalker, Josh Taylor, Scott Cardell, Fred Evans, Anthony Agogo, Simon Valili, Anthony Joshua. You've got three weights there where you've got two boys from your squad. How's that going to work out if Yafai and Selby, do they meet in the quarterfinals, or do they, or would they meet, do you think, earlier on? Because I know the seeding's been introduced, hasn't there?
Yeah, it's dependent on the draw, really, and obviously who they box. What we've put in place is if you have a situation where you have two boxers, an English boxer and a Welsh boxer, that, for example, both qualified reach the quarterfinals.
Then lose.
And then lose, or one advances to the semi and then loses, and the other one's got to the quarterfinals. Basically, they both qualified and meet the qualifying standards. Other than a boxer going on and becoming world champion, they would then have a box off in that scenario.
Out there, because this happened in 1996, as you know, with David Burke and Scott Harrison at the European Championships in Val in Denmark, where Burke had a decent run to the quarterfinals, and Scott Harrison had a hard run, and they both boxed on the Thursday and lost, I think, in the quarters, and then they ended up having to box on the Saturday morning. So would they box out there, Rob, or would you bring them back?
No, we'll bring them back. They won't box in Azerbaijan. It will be done to give the boxers enough time to prepare and give them every chance, give both boxers the opportunity. I mean, it'll be fairly rare that happens, but obviously, we're going to cover all corners of it.
Now, Rob, I mean, you've got, as you say, you've got three weights here where you've got two boys in, Yafai and Selby at 52, Stalker and Taylor at 64, and Cardell and Evans at 69. Was there a temptation before naming this squad to have a box off? I mean, a proper box off, not to monitor them in sparring. Were you tempted, Rob?
Well, I think we looked at it and we felt that the team pretty much picks itself at this stage. It's fairly obvious. I mean, a couple of boxers have got injuries that sort of put them out of the running. You have to feel sympathy for Bradley Saunders, who obviously was at the last Olympics and has fractured a rib this week, which couldn't have come at a worse time. So that's a bit of bad luck for Bradley, and obviously that's affected him in terms of selection as well. But the team it picks itself, and it's all done on form and merit, and it's a fair selection. And I think the boxers all took it well today. The ones that weren't going, they understand the reasons why, and the more work that they've got to do to make sure they get the chance at Istanbul.
Rob, looking at this list here, I mean, I seem to say this every time we have when we start to go to Olympic qualifiers, the last 3 or 4 Olympics, last 2 or 3 Olympics, certainly the last 2. But this is a strong squad, Rob, and the success you've had at European and other tournaments. I mean, I'm looking at this squad and I can see. I mean, my gut feeling is, 5, 6, 7, or maybe even more reaching the quarters. I mean, have you set yourself a limit like the athletics guy has done? Have you set yourself a goal, a target?
I think since I came in, and it's been 2 years now, we just aim to win as many medals and obviously as many qualifications as possible. It's very difficult, top-class international boxing. European Championships was very tough. We've been through 2 of them now in the cycle, and obviously the World Championships is extremely tough. But we have a good squad of boys. They're still learning. A lot of them are still relatively experienced at international level, but there's real potential there. Some of them, can definitely do it, and some of them we'd hope can do it, and they'll all get the same chance. A strong squad-ish, but I think in another 10, 11 months before London, it'll be fairly strong for sure.
A brilliant squad. Well, listen, Rob, it's been a pleasure having you on tonight, and I'm delighted that we've got a squad out there, because they can start concentrating now. And I talked to some of them. I was up there 2 days, or yesterday. I spoke to Khalid Yafai. I spoke to Joshua, and I know that neither of those two fancy waiting until next April for the second qualifier.
They've got to do, the whole thing is, if you're on the plane to Azerbaijan, you get first bite at it, and you've got to do it. But, it has to be said, they're a fantastic bunch of young men. They travel the world. They've worked really hard. They deserve their opportunity. And let's hope they're successful and go on and have a great Olympics in London.
That's the truth. Listen, Rob, I'll speak to you soon, and I'll see you before you go off to Baku. Rob McCracken there, who's named his GB squad for the Azerbaijan World Championships, which are the main qualifier for the Olympics. And at 49 kilos, it's Charlie Edwards from the Lynn in South London. At 52 kilos, it's Khalid Yafai from Birmingham City. Andrew Selby from Wales at the same weight. Luke Campbell's at 56 from Hupping Hull. Martin Ward from the Repton Club in East London. He's at 60 kilos. Tom Stalker from the Salisbury Club in Liverpool. He's at 64, alongside Josh Taylor from Scotland, the sole Scottish entry, if I'm not mistaken, inside Robert's elite squad. Scott Cardell from Kirkham up near Blackpool. He's in at 69, as is Fred Evans from St Joseph down in Cardiff. And Anthony Agogo, formerly he was on Big Brother once, if I'm not mistaken. He's in at 75 kilos on his own. Simon Valili, who got a Commonwealth Games gold medal from Middlesbrough. He's in at 91. And an old friend of the show, Anthony Joshua, he's in. The Finchley super heavyweight is in at 91.1, 91 plus kilos. We've been featuring Anthony Joshua on this show for over 2 years, and he reminded me of that when I saw him yesterday. Absolutely fantastic for that group of boys. Now,